Hi, guys, good evening, and welcome back once again to The Edward. I'm your host, Eddie, and in tonight's video, I will be doing my episode review for the latest episode of AMC's The Walking Dead. We've got one more episode left after this. That is next week's episode, which of course will be the dreaded mid-season finale. And I only say dreaded because that usually a character or two dies during a mid-season finale. And if you look at the history of this show, chances are that somebody's going to bite it in next week's episode. But before we discuss all that, of course, please be warned, this is a spoiler-filled episode review. If you're not caught up on the latest episode of The Walking Dead, do not keep watching or listening to this, as I will be going into giant spoilers. Other than that, you have been warned, and spoilers starting from here on out, starting now. Good episode. Really, really liked it. I didn't like it as much as I liked the last one, which was awesome. I did enjoy this one, however, for a couple of reasons. This episode, I would describe it as calm, almost. Yeah, there were some intense, exciting moments. Daryl and Henry rescuing the poor dog trapped in Daryl's own snares. And then the survivors taking on the herd of walkers after waking up in the warehouse, discovering their dead friend in the crazy-looking shirt. And but overall, this was, I feel like this is a pretty calm episode for the most part, meaning, no big character deaths, nothing too shocking revealed, although we did get some more information about Maggie's departure. And then we were left with another hair-raising question, because it looks like when Daryl was changing shirts, he has not one, but two X's of the same kind that Michonne has on her lower back. So whatever happened to her, chances are it probably happened to him too. And then there's also Michonne's attitude about Maggie. It's like she doesn't want to see or speak to Maggie for whatever reason. And that's what forces Sadiq to reveal that Maggie has been gone for a while. And as I suspected, she took her son Herschel with her. And also, I think something a lot of us began guessing a while back, going back to season 8, she has departed to join Georgie and her new community of survivors and to help her build something new. And so that's all we know about it. We don't know how long Maggie's been gone, but clearly she's been gone long enough to have Jesus and Tara run things at the hilltop. Speaking of Tara, I was happy to see that she, Diane, Enid, and Jesus were alive and well at Hilltop, along with a few other characters as well. They also name-dropped a couple other characters like Alden, the friendly savior, who became a Hilltop resident, so he's still around somewhere and alive, so that was good to hear. And I'm just glad that we're getting, confirmations of these characters, or their confirmation of their statuses, whether or not they've lived or died in the past 6 years. So it was nice seeing everybody alive and well. And I was also really relieved that Enid was still played by the same actress, because I thought to myself, oh, are they going to recast Enid now that there's been a 6-year time jump? Are they going to cast an older actress who's in her mid to late 20s to play her? But nope, it's still the same actress, Caitlin Nacon, so great to see her back at it, and I was really happy they didn't recast that role. And then something else that I really enjoyed was Luke's speech about how early man used instruments and other tools to communicate and resolve conflict together rather than fight each other or fight the Neanderthals. And I loved the analogy, or the lesson in his story, was that the Neanderthals were the walkers, and that people were able to start anew anyway, despite the threat of the Neanderthals, or the walkers in this case. And I felt kind of bad for him. I guess you could say there was one casualty tonight. It was the violin that Michonne sliced in half. I'm just grateful she didn't cut off his arm or any other appendages, because I'm like, great, well, that they would be stuck, with nothing. They'd be stuck with a bloody mess. But, I enjoyed that. I also really enjoyed seeing our new characters brandish their preferred weapons. Connie and Kelly seem to be excellent shots with slingshots, which is awesome. I don't think we've ever seen a character wield a slingshot in this show. Unless I'm unless I'm mistaken, and we've seen it before, if you guys can think of a character or a moment or a scene from the history of the show when we've seen a slingshot used and where, please feel free to sound off in the comments section. And I also liked seeing Magna throw knives. You know, her weapon of choice are knives, of course. And, you know, I'm sure she can impale them like anybody else. But she's a thrower. You know, she's a knife thrower, so that's pretty cool. And it was sad to see that, you know, their friend didn't make it after all. I mean, I think they knew he was dead, but I'm sure they weren't counting on seeing his corpse walking around anytime soon. But it was also kind of a unifying moment between our new characters and our old characters as they were able to take on the dead side by side, earning Michonne's trust for the moment at least. So, you know, that was pretty cool. I also liked Daryl's little survival camp and setup. He's got a dog now, which is pretty cool. He just calls it Dog. And then also answer the question what he's still doing there. You know, a lot of people were thinking, myself included, that maybe he resorted to a life of exile because he felt bad about losing Rick. And that's part of it. I think that's a part of it because he said they never found the body, and Carolyn asked if he was still looking for him, to which he said yes by saying they never found his body. But then, obviously, like Michonne, his attitude or sentiment, mentality, whatever you want to call it, has changed due to the X scars on his back. And unlike Michonne, he's got 2 where she only has 1. So something must have happened to them where they were attacked by the same person or the same assailants. And maybe it wasn't even a stranger. Maybe it was somebody from Hilltop or one of the other communities. And that's why there's so much tension between all the communities now, or at least these strained relationships. I also liked the very subtle tease of the threat of the Whisperers in the beginning and the end of this episode. And I think one of the reasons why this episode was so calm is because the mid-season finale is probably going to be pretty bonkers in terms of a reveal of the Whisperers and in terms of a potential major character death. Not sure who it could be, but I guess that possibility stands. Although they could change it up for once, and for once maybe in the history of this show, nobody will die in the mid-season finale. That'd be kind of nice, right? Well, guys, what did you think of tonight's episode? Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Were you expecting more, expecting less? What do you think happened to Daryl and Michonne? I want to hear your theories and your thoughts. Feel free to sound off down below in the comments section. I'd love to hear from you guys, and I love talking to you guys as well. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more continued coverage on The Walking Dead as we get ready to watch the mid-season finale airing next Sunday night on AMC. Oh, one more quick note. It was also nice to see Michael Kudlitz or Cudlitz. I'm really sorry if I'm butchering that name, but the guy who played Abraham directed this episode. I'm not sure if you noticed in the credits, but I thought that was pretty cool, and he did a pretty damn good job for his first director episode. So congrats to you, Mr. Kudlitz, on your directorial debut. That was pretty awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of the night, and of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.